How's it going, everybody? I've been promising for a while now that I'm going to make a video dedicated to Conqueror's option select, so here we are, finally got around to it. Should have probably made it sooner as I've been playing the character quite a bit lately and it won't hurt to refresh my own memory as well. On top of it, we've had changes a few weeks back that messed with the GB vulnerability of charged attacks, as well as removed all 100 MS GB vulnerability from neutral heavies. Both of these nerfs severely impacted Conqueror's defensive play. Unlike what a lot of people might think, the strength of Conqueror was never in his offense. He has bash-based offense, sure, but the bash is not the reason why he was, or still is to a degree, considered a strong hero. Conqueror's actual strength has always been in his defensive play and the fact that it was almost impossible to punish him for it. The sheer number of option selects he has, and each one required a read to be punished, so not only did you have to make the read that he's going to option select, you also had to guess which one. Obviously, some will be used more frequently and their strength, meaning how many different scenarios they cover, also varies. So here we go, all of Conqueror's option selects. At least I hope I'm not forgetting any because one can be pedantic and keep adding to that number. First of all, his zone. The most prevalent one and also the one that covers a ton of options. It parries, it blocks, it stuffs GBs. The zone has 100 MS startup for its block frames, which means that you can even mistime a parry on a blockable attack and still be safe. Like I said, this is Kong's bread and butter and can only be punished by feinting to neutral and then countering it with a parry, deflect or whatever you have in your moveset. The next two are probably his second strongest options. Which one you rate higher depends on which options you want to cover. It's charged heavy into full block and charge heavy into letting the heavy fly, both done on light timing. Let's look at the full block version first. You press and hold heavy on light parry timing and immediately go into full block. This parries the light and full blocks heavies. This also can be used against soft feint mix-ups like Shaman or PK, but because you sit there in full block, you are susceptible to GBs. You do have the option to straight up go to a zone and stuff the GB like that. This requires another read on your part, but also an additional one on your opponent's side. The other option is to not use your full block but instead let the heavy fly. That way you can always negate feint to GB attempts, but you can be parried. You are parrying and holding the heavy on light timing. That parries any thrown light. Now you need to know the speed of your opponent's heavies. If the difference between light attack and heavy attack is 300 MS, then you can let your heavy fly immediately. This will superior block the heavy, and in case they feint to GB, they will bounce off because you parried on light timing. If the window between the attacks is bigger than 300 MS, you need to charge your heavy for the appropriate amount of time. Raider in this example has 500 MS lights and 900 MS heavies, so you slightly charge. Jungjun has 500 MS lights and 1000 MS heavies, so you need to charge even longer. JJ is a special case as his side heavies have special properties which give him better recovery on them, which means you don't get your heavy as he can block it. He's a good example where the feint to full block is the better option select to choose, as he can also punish those heavies. This also works against combo attacks. What you need to be aware of is the hit or block stun you've been put into. The important part is to parry on the earliest possible timing to negate as many options as possible. You can see this nicely against Warlord, who throws lights, heavies, or feints them to GB or into headbutts. Unless I manage to get early parry timings, all my moves will be too late to punish GB or bash attempts. Had I been in a longer hit stun, this wouldn't work at all. Delaying combo attacks also plays a role, as hit stun plays less of a factor then. But in general, the charging mechanic with its different release timings serves Conk quite well. Another possibility to apply it is against soft feint attacks. Shaman's bleed stabs are a good example. You parry on heavy timing, hold the heavy, and release it in the direction you think the stab will come from. This requires very precise timing. You need to parry early in the window and don't sleep on the release. On side stabs, it's more forgiving than on the top bleed stabs. This will require tons of practice on your end, and the second someone's even remotely laggy, it'll probably throw you off. I'd advise against doing this against PK, as her soft feint recovery is ridiculously short and she can not only block, but also deflect it if she feels like it. Another possible option to deal with this type of soft feint is to dodge out of your charged heavies. You once again parry on heavy timing and immediately input a dodge. This will parry the heavy and dodge the soft feint. This specific option select also covers soft feints to bashes. Valkyrie is a good example here. Once again, parry on heavy timing and input the dodge at the same time. All of these option selects are susceptible to GBs, because the parry timing is always for heavies and you obviously dodge on some of them. Here is another example of a combination of these charge types that helps you specifically with Nusha. You parry and hold heavy on light timing. If she lets the heavy fly, you just sit there and block it, as you have an active guard during the charge. And on the reaction to the trap, you can change to top and let the heavy fly. This avoids the superior block frames she otherwise would have trapped. The next charge variation is the one you instantly feint. Your character just jiggles with his shoulders a little. This one was nerfed considerably recently and is no longer safe from GBs. You want to use that one if you know that your opponent is trying to bait out a zone option select or anything that they can parry. Unless they try to guard break you, you're pretty safe from anything else. The other option to go for if you know they're going to attempt the parry is simply by soft feinting your normal heavy into the bash. Because Conqueror can't hard feint, a lot of people feel quite confident in parrying his heavies, so this one's a good option against these players. And as a last one I'm going to mention is dodges. You can dodge on light timing and superior block both lights as well as heavies. Don't attempt and go for GBs, as the block might push your opponent out of reach. This is most likely different for each heavy, so either make sure you can do it or just go for the bash. Much safer and guarantees the damage without having to know recovery values and range for each and every heavy in the game. And that's it, overview of Conqueror's option selects. I hope I did an adequate job. I'm no Thornbush, but you now should have a pretty good idea what you can do and how to utilize these options given to you. With the recent nerfs, a lot of them no longer cover GBs, so you're a little less safe now. But if you mix them up a little, you should still be quite strong defensively and force a read on your opponent if they want to punish you. Let me know if there are any more questions. I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.